Hey, welcome back. So today we are going to be continuing with reading out loud meditations by Marcus Aurelius. And hopefully we should be able to finish this entire book by day 30 because we are on book 7 today and there are 12 books in total. So wish me luck. And without further ado, we're going to start a timer. And today we're going to read it for 20 minutes. The timer starts right now. Bam. Alright, let's do it. Withdraw into yourself. It is the nature of the rational, directing mind to be self-content with acting rightly, and the calm it thereby enjoys. Erase the print of imagination. Stop the puppet strings of impulse. Define the present moment of time. Recognize what happens to you or to another. Analyze and divide the event into the causal and the material. Think of your final hour. Leave the wrong done by another where it started. Stretch your thought to parallel what is being said. Let your mind get inside what is happening and who is doing it. Take your joy in simplicity, in integrity, in indifference to all the lies between virtue and vice. Love mankind, follow God. Democritus says, all else is subject to the law of the convention. Only the elements are absolute and real, but enough for you to remember that all is subject to law. Precepts reduced to very few. On death, either dispersal, if we're atoms, or if we are a unity, extinction, or a change of home. On pain, unbearable pain carries us off. Chronic pain can be borne. The mind preserves its own serenity by withdrawal, and the directing reason is not impaired by pain. It is for the parts injured by the pain to protest if they can. On fame, look at their minds, the nature of their thought, and what they seek or avoid, and see how just as drifting sands constantly overlay the previous sand, so in our lives, what we once did is quickly covered by so in our lives, what we once did is very quickly covered by subsequent layers. So to a man endowed with noble intelligence and a vision of all time and all being, do you think that this human life will seem of great importance? Impossible, he said. So such a man will not think there is anything fearful in death either. Certainly not. A king's law, to do good and be damned. It is shameful that the face should be so obedient, shaping and ordering its expression as the mind dictates, when the mind cannot impose its own shape and order on itself. Mere things, brute facts, should not provoke your rage. They have no mind to care. May you give joy to the immortal gods and joy to us. Ripe ears of corn are reaped, and so are lives. One stands, another falls. If I and my 2 sons are now no more, the gods concern, this too will have its cause. For good and right stand on my side. Don't join in mourning or in ecstasy. But I could give this man a proper answer. I would say, you are mistaken, my friend, if you think that a man of any worth at all should take into account the risk of life or death, and not have as his sole consideration in any action whether he is doing right or wrong, the act of a good man or a bad. The truth of the matter, my fellow Athenians, is this: whatever poison a man has taken up in his own best judgment, or is assigned by his commander there, it seemed to me he should stay and face danger, giving no thought to death or anything else before dishonor. But my dear fellow, consider it possible that nobility and virtue are something other than saving one's life and having it saved. Could it not be that anyone who is truly a man should dismiss any concern for a particular length of life, and not simply live for the sake of living? Rather he should leave all this to God, and believe what the women folks say, that no one ever escapes the day of his fate. His thoughts should be on this further question: how best to live his life in the time he has to be alive. Observe the movement of the stars, as if you were running their courses with them, and let your mind constantly dwell on the changes of the elements into each other. Such imaginings wash away the filth of life on the ground. Further, when your talk is about mankind, view earthly things as if looking down on them from some point high above. Flock, armies, farms, weddings, divorces, births, deaths, the hubbub of the law courts, desert places, various foreign nations, festivals, funerals, markets, all the medley of the world and the ordered conjunction of opposites. Look back over the past, all those many changes of dynasties, and you can foresee the future too. It will be completely alike, incapable of deviating from the rhythm of the present. So for the study of human life, 40 years are good as 10,000. What more will you see? Again, what is born of earth goes back to earth, but the growth from heavenly seed returns whence it came, to heaven. What is born of earth goes back to earth, but the growth from heavenly seed returns whence it came, to heaven. Or else this, a dissolution of the nexus of atoms and senseless molecules likewise dispersed. Again, with special food or drink or sorcery, seeking a channel from the stream of death. The wind that blows from God, we must endure, and labor uncomplaining. Better a throwing his man, but not more public-spirited, or more decent, or more disciplined to circumstance, or more tolerant of his neighbor's faults, where a task should be accomplished in accordance with the reason, which gods and men share. There's nothing to be afraid of. Because where there is the possibility of benefit from an action which moves along the proper path, following our own human constitution, there should be no lurking fear of any harm. Everywhere and all the time, it is up to you to honor God in contentment with your present circumstance, to treat the men who are your present company with justice and lavish thought on every present impression in your mind, so that nothing slips in past your understanding. Do not look around at the directing minds of other people, but keep looking straight ahead to where nature is leading you, both universal nature, in what happens to you, and your own nature, in what you must do yourself. Every creature must do what follows from its own constitution. The rest of creation is constituted to serve rational beings, just as in everything else the lower exists for the higher. But rational beings are here to serve each other. So the main principle in man's constitution is the social. The second is resistance to the promptings of the flesh. It is a specific property of rational and intelligent activity to isolate oneself and never be influenced by the activity of the senses or impulses. Both these are of the animal order. And it is the aim of intelligent activity to be sovereign over them. And it is the aim of intelligent activity to be sovereign over them, and never yield them the mastery. And rightly so, as it is the very nature of intelligence to put all these things to its own use. The third element in a rational constitution is a judgment unhurried and undeceived. So let your directing mind hold fast to these principles and follow the straight road ahead. Then it has what belongs to it. Imagine you were dead now and had not lived before this moment. Now view the rest of your life as a bonus and live it as nature directs. Love only what falls your way and is fated for you. What could suit you more than that? Water break. In every contingency, keep in your mind's eye those who had the same experience before and reacted with vexation, disbelief, or complaint. So where are they now? Nowhere. Well then, do you want to act like them? Why not leave the moods and shifts of others to the shifting and the shifted, and for yourself concentrate wholly on how to make use of these contingencies? You will then use them well, and they will be raw material in your hands. Only take care and seek your own best good in all that you do. Remember these things. Remember these two things. The action is important, the context indifferent. Dig inside yourself. Inside there is a spring of goodness, ready to gush at any moment, if you keep digging. The body, too, should stay firmly composed, and not fling itself about, either in motion or at rest. Just as the mind displays qualities in the face, keeping it intelligent and attractive. Something similar should be required of the whole body. But all this should be secured without making an obvious point of it. The art of living is more than wrestling, than dancing, in that it stands ready for what comes and is not thrown by the unforeseen. All the time you should consider who are these people, whose endorsement you wish, and what the minds that direct them. When you look into the sources of their judgment and impulse, you will not blame their unwitting error, nor will you feel the need of their endorsement. No soul, says Plato, likes to be robbed of truth. And the same holds of justice. Moderation, kindness, and all such virtues. Essential that you should keep this constantly in your mind. This will make you more gentle to all. Whenever you suffer pain, have ready to hand the thought that pain is not a moral evil, and does not harm your governing intelligence. Pain can do no damage either to its rational or to its social order. Pain can do no damage either to its rational or to its social nature. In most cases of pain, you should be helped too by the saying of Epicurus. Pain is neither unendurable nor unending, as long as you remember its limits and do not exaggerate it in your imagination. Remember too that many things we find disagreeable are the unrecognized analogues of pain. Drowsiness, for example, oppressive heat, loss of appetite. So when you find yourself complaining of any of these, say to yourself, you are giving in to pain. Take care that you never treat the misanthropic as they treat mankind. How do you know that Telugus? I really don't know how to pronounce this word, so I'm gonna search it up. Kai always searches up words when he don't know how to pronounce them, so I should do the same. tel, teluges. Telogs. Well, we are going to finish this paragraph before we are ending our session today. How do we know that Telog's character did not make him a better man than Socrates? It is not enough that Socrates died a more glorious death, that he argued more skillfully with the sophists, that he showed greater endurance in spending a whole night out in the frost, that he was braver in his decision to refuse the order to arrest Leon of Salamis, that he swaggered in the streets, though no one well questioned if this last is true. No, what we need to investigate is the nature of Socrates' soul. We should ask whether he was able to be content with his life of justice shown to men and piety to the gods, neither condemning all vices wholesale, nor yet to dying to anyone's ignorance, nor regarding anything allotted to him by the whole as misplaced in him, or a crushing burden to endure, nor lending his mind to share the poor passions of the flesh. Alright. This is the end of today's session. I'll see you tomorrow.